Good day, I'm Malia Rinfrancine Ziaglipa from grade 11 ABM YA-10. And for this video, I will be discussing normal distributions. Normal distribution, also known as the Gaussian distribution, is a probability distribution that is symmetric about the mean, showing that data near the mean are more frequent in occurrence than data far from the mean. In graphical form, the normal distribution appears as a bell curve. The percentage of values that lie within the interval estimate in a normal distribution are 68%, 95%, and 99.7%, which lie within 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations of the mean respectively. This is known as the empirical rule.
Now let us move on to the example. A class of 50 students took an IQ test and their scores are distributed normally with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 10. Using the empirical rule, answer the following questions. A. How many students scored between 100 to 130? B. What percentage of the class scored at most 110? C. How many students scored greater than or equal to 120? And D. What is the chance that a student chosen randomly has a test score that is less than or equal to 80? Let us now answer the first question. How many students scored between 100 to 130? To solve this, let us first get the percentage of each interval from 100 to 130. We will take 34%, 13.5%, and 2.35% to get the sum. The answer is 49.85%. But since we are looking for how many students, we will convert this into a decimal by dividing it to 100. And then, we will have 0.4985. Multiply this by 50, which is the number of students, and we will come up with 24. Therefore, 24 students scored between 100 to 130. Next question. What percentage of the class scored at most 110? At most means the highest score they got is 110. For this, we are going to get the percentage of intervals from 110 down to the lowest score. Add up the values 0.15% plus 2.35% plus 13.5% plus 34% plus 34%. Since we are looking for just the percentage, the sum is already the final answer. Therefore, 84% of the students scored at most 110. Next, how many students scored greater than or equal to 120? For this, we are going to get the percentage of intervals from 120 up to the highest score. Just add 2.35% and 0.15%, and you will come up with 2.5%. Convert it into decimal and we will have 0.025. And then multiply it by 50, which is the number of students, to come up with the final answer. We now have 1.25. But since we are looking for the number of students, we will disregard the 0.25 and we will be left with 1. Therefore, only one student scored greater than or equal to 120. Lastly, what is the chance that a student chosen randomly has a test score that is less than or equal to 80? Get the percentage of intervals that is less than or equal to 80, and that is 0.15% and 2.35%. Just get the sum of these values and we will have the final answer. Since we are looking for the chance, the final answer for this should be in percentage. Therefore, there is a 2.5% chance that a student chosen randomly has a test score that is less than or equal to 80. Were you able to understand it? Now it's your turn to answer the problems by yourself. The English test scores of 100 students were distributed normally with a mean of 80 and a standard deviation of 5. Answer the following questions using the empirical rule. A. What percentage of the class scored between 75 and 85? B. How many students scored more than 90? C. What is the chance of picking a student randomly with a score less than or equal to 75? And D. How many students scored at least 80? I'm giving you a minute to answer these questions, but you may pause the video for a longer time. Time's up. Here are the answers. For letter A, the answer is 68%. Because the percentage of intervals from 75 to 85 are both 34%. 34 plus 34 is equals to 68. For letter B, 2 students scored more than 90. The percentage of intervals from 90 to the highest score are 2.35 and 0.15%. Just get the sum of these values and we will have 2.5%. But since we are looking for the number of students, disregard the decimal and we will have only 2 students. Which actually makes sense, right? Because I cannot have half a student, right? Moving on, the chance of picking a student randomly with a score less than or equal to 75 is 16%. Just add up the percentage of intervals of scores equal to 75 or less than 75. 13.5% plus 2.35% plus 0.15% is equals to 16%. And lastly, get the percentage of intervals from the mean 80 to the highest score. 34 plus 13.5 plus 2.35 plus 0.15 is equals to 50. Technically, we don't have to convert 50% into decimal and then multiply it to the number of students because the number of students is 100.
Well, that's it for this video. Remember, the more you keep trying, the higher the chances of getting it right. Thanks for watching. Bye!